All right. How you doing, folks? Ron Raymond here from the Raymond Report for a Tuesday, Ruby Tuesday, April 20th. Hope you're having yourself a good start to your day. As always, don't forget, subscribe to our channel by tapping that notification bell in the top right-hand corner or hit the subscribe button below this video if you're on a mobile device. All right, folks, hope you had a nice day yesterday. We had a really pretty good day. In fact, our baseball selections went 2-1 yesterday. We had a free pick on the Seattle Mariners plus 172. We also had the Kansas City Royals, our only loser, against Tampa Bay, but we had the Milwaukee Brewers as a plus 126 underdog, and we had a 172 underdog on the Mariners, so a really good day. Overall, in our last 26 selections here on the premium picks here at ATS Stats, we are 17-8-1. 17-8-1 in our last 26 selections. And folks, if you're interested in my top plays, my best bets, each and every day, you can get them right here at atsstats.com. Go to picks, go to Ron Raymond, and then on this page, you can just go to Ron's subscription plan, and for only $99 a year, you get my top plays each and every day. It's only 27 cents a day when you think about it in the long run. And the bottom line, we try to provide you winners on a daily basis and using the less is more philosophy. And the one thing we don't do is we don't bet on C-type teams in the standings. C-type teams are teams below 500. And we pick our spots, or I pick my spots every time I make my selections. And it's a daily grind here for the year. All right, let's get right to it. And if you're new to the Raymond Report, I do a baseball broadcast, NBA broadcast, preview show, NHL broadcast. Right after this will be the NHL. That'll be at, I think we're going to set that up for... And if you go on our YouTube channel, you can see we have all the schedules there. And you can set the reminders. So at 10:45, we'll have the NHL preview show. And at 11:30 this morning, we will do the NBA preview show. All right, let's get right to it. We got a lot of games on deck here today. And don't forget, play at bullpenpicks.com. Everybody can join. Everybody can play. Bullpenpicks.com. And you want to follow the top pickers right here at bullpenpicks.com. All right, let's go to game number one between the LA Dodgers and the Seattle Mariners. Now, folks, if you missed the live show, you can watch the replay by going to our channel each and every day, and you can catch it. And the thing we're trying to do now is 20-minute segments. So, as you can see, I don't know if you can see it on the screen right now, but I think maybe not. I think it's you can't see it, but I try to keep these videos under 20 minutes. So this way, you know, like in baseball, get them on, get them over, get them out, right? And that's what you want to do. You just want to get winners. And that's what we're trying to provide here at the Rain Report. All right, game number one between the Dodgers and the Seattle Mariners. We're going to go to this one. Now, first pitch is at 4:10. I see Mark Nation's in the bullpen. Play ball. Good morning, Ron. Good morning, Mark. There's Isaiah. How you doing, Cheeks? Thanks for tuning in this morning. Who you like today, says Isaiah. Well, we're going to look at it right now. Red Wings almost got me the upset money. Yeah, you know, C-type teams, right? What do I say all the time? And I thought you agreed to that. I thought you weren't betting on C-type teams there, Isaiah. All right, Julio Urias going today for the LA Dodgers and for the Seattle Mariners. Marco Gonzalez. Now, Gonzalez, even though the Mariners are having a good run right now at 11-6 on the season, Gonzalez 1-1 with an 8.22 ERA, and Julio Urias 2-0 in the season, 3.86 ERA. And as you can see, the Dodgers coming off a 2-game losing streak now. Not too many times you're going to hear us say that when the Dodgers are coming off a 2-game losing streak. 3-7 to the under in their last 10. And Seattle, remember I told you guys at the beginning of the year, there's 3 teams that are going to be under your radar type team. You're just not going to believe in them yet, right? And we're getting close to that 20-game mark where you're looking at these teams and you're saying, okay, you know what? I know they're good teams, but I just can't pull the trigger on that team, right? I think Seattle is one of those teams, right? And if we look at some of the other teams in the standings, in fact, let me bring it up here on the Rain Report. Let me go to, I'll do it on this screen right here, and I'll just transfer it over. But again, it's just those teams, those under the radar teams. You want to bet them, and you know, Boston Red Sox, another example, right? You're waiting because you're comparing it from last year, and that's what we do, right? We always compare last season, and you never remember the wins, but the bad losses always stick with you. And those under the radar teams that didn't have a good season last year, you keep remember that, and it's just hard to trust those bad teams, right? And let me check the bullpen. There's Rui Pedro. How you doing, Rui from Lisbon? Cash Spurs last night or tonight, he says. Definitely like Dodgers and Padres to rebound, says Mark Nation. A nice in a while. Once Edmonton, the Wizards hit very nicely for him last night, so good job on that. And I'm just going to bring over the Major League Baseball market conditions. This is the Bears and Bulls report. Excuse me. Every time I get on here, I start burping. Hey, it's don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the camera or what. It's just one of those things. But I apologize for that. I don't mean to burp in your screen. Hey, but yeah, let's take a look at the Bears and Bulls report here. Just going to bring this up. It always takes a little bit of a time. But yeah, look at these teams right here. So Los Angeles Dodgers, Boston. That's a team. It just you just wonder when they're going to start losing, right? Seattle is one of those teams. 11-6. What are you going to say? New York Mets. Mets only played 11 games, so I'm going to give them a few more games to go. San Francisco. Are they a team you can trust? Cincinnati. 9-6. Kansas City. Look at all these teams in the A divisions, right? I classify A type teams. Those are my under the radar type teams right here. I think Boston, I don't know if we can trust them yet. Seattle, same thing. The Mets don't have enough games yet. San Fran, Cincinnati, and Kansas City. That's not Tampa Bay, Atlanta, and some of the teams we're used to. Yankees, the public teams, and Minnesota. Minnesota's been a disappointment. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention since we're talking about the Seattle Mariners. And let's take a look here at the Dodgers. Dodgers now rank number 2 in the league in runs for per game, and number 3 on runs against, where Seattle, even though Seattle's having a good run right here, 11-6, they're only ranked 12th in hitting, so runs for average, ranked 12 in the league, and ranked 19th against runs against. So, this is what I mean by under the radar, and sometimes you're going to play Seattle, and you're going to have that uncomfortable pick feeling, right? And so you got to be careful if you are going to play the Mariners. Now, looking at the LA Dodgers on the road against A-type teams, 3-1 on the season. They're 13-4 overall, 7-4 on the road, and for Seattle, 6-4 at home, 5-4-1 to the over/under. And if we look at the last 3 games, averaging 3.67 runs for, and looking at, let me see here, down here, as a home underdog this season. So they've been a home dog 10 times this year. So they're 6-4 as a home dog, and that, see, even the bookmaker has that same level of confidence mentality, right? That they put them an underdog. If you're the first place team like the Mariners, you're 11-6. You shouldn't be an underdog 10 times in the season, right? As a home underdog. So that tells you exactly that uncomfortable feeling that I always talk about. But looking at tonight, the Dodgers losing 2. I think it's going to be tough to beat Urias, especially with that 3.86 ERA. I think the Dodgers are a team you probably want to lean on this evening. All right, let's go to game number 2 here between Chicago White Sox and the Cleveland Indians. Now, Carlos Rodon, coming off that pitched a no-hitter in his last outing. He still has an ERA of 0.0. He's 2-0 in the season up against Zach Plesac. Zach is 1-2 in the season, ERA of 5.27. Now, looking at the Cleveland Indians, they are on the season 8-7, 4-1 at home, and 1-4 to the under. And looking at the Chicago White Sox got thumped yesterday at Fenway, 9-2 against the Boston Red Sox. And you know what, Chicago, I got to give them more time, right? And the thing is, you saw their ace get rocked yesterday. Luis Giolito got rocked. And one thing I heard this morning is that he's not a good day pitcher, right? So keep an eye out on that, on Lucas Giolito. See how he does. I'll have to check his record during the day. But looking at this game here tonight, Chicago White Sox at Cleveland, and I'm trying to find any good stats here on tonight's game. Maybe the total's where you want to lean this, but right now I don't have an opinion on this game. Cleveland, a B-type team, and a 57% chance of winning. And what's the line on this game? Do I see a line here? Minus 112 for Chicago, and let me check here. As a C-type team, yeah, they're both C and a B-type team right here. And the value edge, what did I have the value? I had the Cleveland Indians at minus 133, and I had the Chicago White Sox at minus 116. So fair market value here on the Chicago White Sox, but I'm gonna have to do some more digging into this game to get more information. But I just want to get those pearls out to you guys. All right, let's go to game number 3 between Minnesota and the Oakland Athletics. Now, this game here, I think there's a doubleheader today with Minnesota and Oakland, and I don't touch doubleheader games, right? Actually, let me double check here just to make sure. Yeah, so there will be a double header between Minnesota and Oakland. So my rule of thumb is this in sports handicapping: I don't bet on double headers. It's just there's too much inconsistency, the reports, injuries, the pitching staff. I know it's only 7 innings, but that's one of my rules, right? All right, let's take a look at the bullpen, see what people are seeing. There's Sabino Aguano. Sabino Aguano. That's another Portuguese. Sabino. That's I got some family Sabino. My favorite play of the day is RUI and the Blue Jays. RYU. Was that Ryerson University? I don't know. What's RYU? And that damn near even money at -103. All right, Mark Nation, definitely like the Dodgers and Padres rebound cards over Braves, says Mark Nations. Don't forget, folks, you can always post into our chat each and every day right here at the bullpen on our YouTube channel. All right, so, looking at this one here, I do have some information on this game, though, for Matt Shoemaker up against Sean Manaea. I think this is game number 1. Matt Shoemaker against Oakland in his career, 15-11-5. But hang on here, 15-11, 15-11, and 12-2 to the over. So Shoemaker, when he faces Oakland, 12-2 to the over. So a little over tidbit there for you guys. And for Oakland, 3-0 against C-type teams at home this season. And after that really poor start, Oakland's starting to pour it on right now. In fact, they're on an 8-game winning streak. After, remember I told you guys at the beginning of the year, I said, it's funny how sports work. You get these decent teams, or any type of team, right? They'll go on the Sacramento Kings, remember? Go on an 8-game losing streak, then an 8-game winning streak. Oakland started the season, 0-5, 0-6? Now look at them, right? It's just amazing how that angle always comes out to play. All right, let's take a look at the Minnesota Twins, the Atlanta Braves against the New York Yankees. And looking at the Braves here tonight, Charlie Morton going for the Braves. He's 1-1 on the season, ERA at 4.76. And Atlanta ranked 9th in scoring this year compared to 23 in runs against. And the Yankees, well, the Yankees, I've been saying, they're looking old. The Yankees are looking old, and they got too many of the same type players, right? 24 runs on ranking number 24th on offense and 13th on defense. So they're not hitting. The Yankees aren't hitting. And Charlie Morton in his career against the Yankees, 7-5 straight up, 4-8 to the under. And looking at Jameson Taillon for the Yankees, he's getting the nod here tonight. He's 0-1 on the season, sporting an ERA of 7.56. Now looking at the line on this game, -125 for the Bronx Bombers. I had them listed here on the value index at 138. They're on a 5-game losing streak, but they're up against the Atlanta Braves. And when Charlie Morton goes for the Braves, they're 1-1 on the year. 7-3 to the over in the last 10 games for Atlanta. And let's take a look at their road record. They're 4-5. Atlanta, 7-9 on the season. Again, this is what I was saying at the beginning of the show, right? You get these teams you can't trust. But there's something you always remember last year. Yankees weren't that good last year, but Atlanta, they were a playoff type team, right? And look at what's happening this year. Slow start out of the gate. 6-1 at home to the over, 3-6 to the under. The thing is, anytime you get a slow starting team, and this team reminds me a lot like the Tampa Bay Rays, right? Very sporadic, and it's just a matter of time that I think Atlanta starts to get it going this year. And so I see here somebody says Atlanta 3-0 as an underdog. Let me see here. Where the Braves are 3-0 as an underdog this season. Is that on the road? Because as an underdog, I'm seeing Atlanta as 3-2, so maybe our stats are a bit wrong here, but I'm seeing 3-2 as a dog this season. In fact, let me go to my dashboard. Let me go to my super database and bring out the stats, the stat of the day. And let's go to MLB. Let's go to Atlanta as an underdog, current season. Three and two. I got 3-2, so. Against Atlanta, the Cubs, they won against the Cubs 6-0. Then they played the Cubs again. They won 5-2. And then Washington, they beat Washington 7-5. And then Washington again on April 6th, 6-5 for Washington. And then April 1st, Philadelphia, it was 3-2. So 3-2 as an underdog. So I don't know where he got that stat from. But, just want to make sure, just double check, right? Fact checking, as they say. And looking at Atlanta here, coming off a win, 1-1 on the season. And let me see here. Any other good stats to share with you guys on this game tonight? 6-21. So MLB home teams coming off a game where they allowed 4 runs against this season. Home teams, the under 21-6. And you got a couple of pitchers there that have experience. Yeah, with at least with Charlie Morton, Jameson Taillon. We'll have to, the jury's still out. But, this is a game here I'm going to have to give some more attention and probably look it up later. All right, let's go to game number 4 here between Baltimore and the scrappy Miami Marlins. All right, Acuna most likely out, says Mark Nations. Sounds like good value on the Braves. Yeah, I think there is value on the Braves. It's just that the C-type team, right? It's really tough to bet on C-type teams. Really tough to bet on C-type teams and there's so much talent there, right? It's just you got to wait. Atlanta's going to turn it on, but you got to see. This is a great question here. A great observation by you, Cheeks. You said great team, a lot of talent. You got to wait. And this is the one thing with gamblers, you got to be patient. And you maybe Atlanta in like 2-3 weeks from now, when they start heating up the bats, then there's going to be a higher confidence level. And that's why I always say limit your plays today. And when you bet on B and A type teams in the Rain Report, you will see a big difference into your sports betting. All right, only 5 minutes left here in the MLB show. And again, folks, if you're interested in my top plays, my best bets, you can get them each and every day right here at atsstats.com. And looking at the Miami Marlins, now looking at their last 10 games, 6-4 straight up. Their value edge here, a bit overvalued here tonight. Now, Nick Neidhart is going today for the Miami Marlins up against Matt Harvey. Now, Matt Harvey, in his career against Miami, Matt Harvey's been pitching a long time. And 7-4 to the over, but he's only 3-8 against the scrappy Miami Marlins. So be careful if you do like Baltimore here tonight. Again, C-type team, and they're 1-5 against another C-type team on the road this year. And when you look at their away record, they play better. It's always amazing, right? Jekyll and Hyde syndrome, I call it. They're Jekyll they're Jekyll on the road, but they hide at home. They're 6-3 on the year, 1-6 at home. So 2-7 to the under. And looking at Matt Harvey's record on the road against Miami, 7-4 to the over. Nick Neidhart, 0-0 in the season with an ERA of 4. I do like Miami in this one. But because they're a C-type team, I don't think I'll be able to pull the trigger. But I'll probably put them in at my selection at bullpenpicks.com. And look at this, 2-15. So Baltimore lifetime, 2-15 against Miami. So be careful if you do like Baltimore tonight. And let me see here. Anything else? Yeah, so good information on that game right there. And let me see. I have some good stats here. Home teams against Baltimore this season, 8-2 to the under. Wow, that's interesting. So home teams against the Baltimore Orioles this season, 8-2 on the season. All right, let's go to the other game here. And we're going to talk about the Arizona Diamondbacks against against Cincinnati. Luis Castillo getting the call here on the bump for the Reds. And again, we talked about that at the top of the show. Is Cincinnati a team you can trust, even though they're having a good start, 9-6, 7-2 at home this season, 7-2 to the over. And let me see here, 5-5 in their last 10, -136. So if you compare our line with the bookmakers line, we got good value here tonight on the Cincinnati Reds. Now, they are coming off a loss to the Cleveland Indians in their last game, 6-3. Arizona, you know what? Arizona, surprisingly enough, have won more games out of the gate than I thought they would. 6-10 on the year, 4-7 on the road, 3-8 to the under, though. Look at that, 3-8 to the under so far this season. And when they're facing an A-type team like the Cincinnati Reds on the road, 3-0 to the under. So you might want to look at that when you are going to wager on this game here tonight. All right, let's go to the next game between Pittsburgh and where am I here? Pittsburgh, Detroit. All right, Fulmer against Tyler Anderson. Anderson 1-2 on the season, ERA of 4.02. And Fulmer 1-0, ERA of 3. And Detroit on a 4-game losing streak. And look at this here. Let me see. It was the value index. So value, there's overvalued here today, but you got a C-type team. against another C-type team in Pittsburgh. But Pittsburgh, hey, you know what? They did pretty well against Milwaukee in Milwaukee. And Pittsburgh 7-9 on the year. When you look at some of their games, you know they're competitive, right? 6-5 against the Brewers. They got smoked 7-1 here. 6-1 in the first game of the series against Milwaukee. And then they played the Padres, right? They lost 8-3. They beat the Padres 5-1, and then they beat them 8-4, and then they split. So they split a series with the Padres. So that's pretty respectable right there. And then they did a number on the Cubs there, 7-1, 8-2, and then they lost on the April 8th. So you know what? Be careful if you know, again, we always go back to our mindset of the last couple of years, and you know, new players, new season. And the thing is, you don't want to bring old baggage to a new season, right? Mentality-wise. So you always got to, when it's like an eraser, right? You just got a new day, a new challenge. And Tyler Anderson going for the Bucks here tonight. They're 0-2 in his start so far this season, but the forecast does like Pittsburgh, 3.35 and 2.82. And that's the forecast on that. Detroit on a 4-game losing streak. And let me see here if we got any stats on that. MLB home teams on a 4-game losing streak so far this year, 4-5 on the season. All right, let's go to one more game here, and let's take a look at, let me see here. We did Pittsburgh. Let's go St. Louis against Washington. Adam Wainwright. Now, Wainwright sporting a big ERA here of 7.11. 0-2 on the year, up against Patrick Corbin. Nobody has a higher ERA than Corbin in the bigs, I think. 21.32. He's been absolutely rocked his last few outings. In fact, let's go see Corbin's last outings here. Let me see, Patrick Corbin. Let me bring it up here. Last game. I'll just bring it up on this screen here. Patrick Corbin. So far this year, 0-2, ERA of 21.32. Got a high whip. Only lasted 2 innings in his first start against Arizona. Got hit for 10 runs, 6 hits, and then 4.1 innings against the Dodgers. You know, the Dodgers I can get, but getting rocked against Arizona, and you know, the pros, right? You always got to respect the league. But Corbin is not, I don't think you want to play on a C-type team here, bet on a C-type team. St. Louis 4-1 against C-type teams on the road this season. And coming off a big win last night, 12-5. I don't think I'm going to touch this game here. Oh, there's my countdown. So time, yeah, okay. So we're up to 20-minute mark. And again, when I started doing these videos, I said I had to keep these videos short for 20 minutes. Just, you know, people don't want to be hostage for an hour, right? So that's the MLB preview right now, guys. Before I go, our next show is NHL at 10:45. But I'm going to bring it here. I want to show you guys some stats here. Zach Wheeler against San Francisco, 3-4 against San Francisco, 4-1 and 2 to the over lifetime. And Wainwright, 11-7 against Washington. Also, Toronto, Hyun-Jin Ryu going for the Toronto Blue Jays against Boston. He's 0-2 lifetime against the Boston Red Sox, but 0-2 to the under. And Jake Arrieta taking on the New York Mets, 9-9 against the Metropolitans, 4-13-1 to the under. So if you do like the Mets here today, guys, let me go to that game. New York Mets against, where is it here? Chicago Cubs. So this game is at Wrigley. And just before you go, I'm just going to bring up that game. And yeah, Jake Arrieta, 9-9. He's 2-1 on the season, 3.18 ERA, and 4-13-1. Now looking at the line of this game, -125 for the Mets. Taijuan Walker going for New York. They're 2-0 in his starts, and Jake Arrieta, they're 3-0 in air. So somebody's going to lose here tonight. Jake Arrieta, when he goes for the Cubs, they're 3-0. We got the Cubs winning 4.2, 3.67, the over-under at 7.89. And when we look at the stats on this game, the value index, you are getting good value on the New York Mets, and you almost fair market value on the Cubs. And when I look at the Mets on the road this year, 3-3, and Chicago 4-5, 6-9 on the season, 4-10-1 to the under. And with Arrieta pitching, you might be an under play here tonight, but make sure you catch the where the wind is blowing today at Wrigley. All right, there you have it, folks. That's the Raymond Report MLB preview show today for a Tuesday, April 20th. Again, you can get the Raymond Report each and every day right here at atsstats.com. And if you're interested in my top plays, my best bets, you go to picks, you go to Ron Raymond, and you can get my top plays. I'm on a good run right now, 17-8-1 in my last 26 releases. And let's see here before I go. Any other? What about the other games? You should have just went through. You should have just went through every game quickly. Please need your Raymond Report. So here's the thing: if you go to YouTube, I do a MLB forecast on every game. So if you go on the replay show, you'll see that I have a report on every game. You just got to go and check it out there. All right, I'll be back at 10:45 with the NHL report. In the meantime, shop for value, play those percentages. We'll see you back shortly with another